The Last Clue is a production of Smith Media Team, LLC. Where are we headed today? Midwest, as usual.
Yes, we are hanging in the Midwest. We're Indiana, Ohio, a little bit of Kentucky.
Doesn't Michigan still own Ohio?
Absolutely. It's been 1,700 and some odd days, but that's for doggone sports. Anyway, we've got a really interesting one that's kind of got the nation talking, if you will.
Okay.
So, and from what I understand, today would have been, unfortunately, our victim's birthday.
It's
So,
always sad to um, cover something like that, especially when you know that there's a special day involved. But hopefully, we come to a positive resolution.
I hope so. So, we will say happy heavenly birthday to Wilma Gayle Robertson. She was found deceased after a welfare check called to her home on April 15th, and they found her with stab wounds.
Multiple, correct?
I know of at least two. We all know of at least two, and they were to the back,
Like a coward.
like a coward. So this one starts off really interesting because her alleged killer was arrested fairly quickly.
Okay, and who was that?
So Shawn Bailey was arrested for Wilma Gayle's murder. I believe her family called her Gayle, so I'm going to refer to her as Gayle. If that is incorrect, family, please feel free to let me know, and I will issue an apology and iteration. But Gayle had been dating Shawn Bailey at some point, and they had broken up. And Shawn was arrested fairly quickly for her murder because he allegedly confessed on social media.
So he's been arrested. He's at this point he's been arrested for the murders.
He was.
You've been listening to The Last Clue. That's our shortest episode ever. Is there any more?
He,
I mean, we've got an arrest. It's over, right?
you would think so. So Shawn allegedly sent social media messages to her family, including it started with her ex-husband's girlfriend. Sent a message that included a gruesome 5-second video of Wilma's body on the ground and the song Stutter by Chris Brown playing in the background.
Was that supposed to send some type of odd message? Is that like the horse head in the bed? What's happening here?
So many things, so many things. There's a lot to unpack. So there was that 5-second video with that song playing with Wilma's body in it. And then there was a message that stated something to the effect of her baby's daddy didn't need to worry about her anymore because Shawn did him a favor.
Well, that's in true Chris Brown form.
Elaborate.
Chris Brown, not necessarily the nicest guy in the world.
He's not. Sorry, I'm a little slow on the uptake.
Chris Brown got in trouble trying to be a ninja.
Ninja. You didn't stutter. I did. Sorry, my bad. I ruined that. But anyway, so Shawn Bailey's arrested with these alleged confessions. Um, the thing is, Shawn Bailey has an alibi. He was in Kentucky at the time of the murder, and the messages were also sent to Gail's immediate family members, one of them being her cousin Kimberly, after Shawn was arrested.
So Sean's in the Hooskow and he's sending social media messages to the family, including a graphic video. Was that
Yes,
that was while he was in the clink?
I do believe so. I do know the message to her cousin came while he was arrested. And Riddle me this, Batman. It was a new social media profile from Instagram that hadn't sent any messages before. And Shawn and her cousin, Kimberly, she's been very vocal, um, had exchanged messages previously. So why would this be from a new account?
I wonder if he used the word kindly in his messages because that is the sign of a scammer that is trying to get you to send them money. Because I knew a princess once in Nigeria that needed to get out of jail.
Whoa, whoa, whoa,
She
whoa,
had a
whoa.
bunch of money. No, she had a bunch of
No,
money,
no, no.
but she used kindly a lot.
I now we might be talking about family again because I had a prince that did that to me once
From Nigeria,
from Nigeria.
popular place to apparently get arrested when you have a lot of money.
I guess,
Okay.
but I don't think that was the case here. Do you know what happened here?
I'm still not clear because Shawn Bailey, currently in our story, Shawn Bailey is in jail right now. He is right in our story. He's in jail for the murder of Wilma Gayle Robertson. But
He is.
there's social media messages going out to her family from Shawn Bailey. So I know that prisoners tend to get a little bit more freedom, but I think they only get about an hour of that freedom a day. I might be wrong. It's been a while since I've visited the Hoos Cow.
Been a while for me too, and last I knew, cell phones were still kind of contraband. But hey, who am I? I'm not. I'm not your
Get one in the
keeper.
cake and go straight to the brown eye.
Oh, yeah, yeah, you could definitely go there. But I need to know about. I'm going to kind of go with some artwork here. Do you
Okay.
like artwork?
I love artwork. It's terrible for a podcast, but I do love artwork.
Yes, you've got a very beautiful piece.
Whoa. Yes, I do.
I know you do. What would you do with that beautiful piece of artwork right before you hung it on the wall?
I would probably frame it.
Oh, you're onto something there.
I solved the case.
Kind of did.
Okay. I'm listening.
Shawn Bailey was framed.
Framed. I got to hear this.
So, Cousin Kimberly knew that there was no way these messages could be coming from Shawn Bailey since he was in jail and this was a new social media profile.
Unless you live in Cleveland County, Oklahoma, and you get
Oh,
to do whatever you
God.
want.
That's a
Okay.
whole new
Sorry.
podcast.
Yeah.
So Kimberly was in contact with a detective at the time and let him know about this information. And she, I believe, threw out a name and to check into about another man that Gail had dated named Nigel Thomas.
Nigel was the name of the princess that I tried to bail out in Nigeria, strangely.
That is
Please continue.
very strange. So they were looking into Nigel Thomas, and some evidence came about. And within this evidence, DNA came up that exonerated Shawn Bailey. His
Imagine imagine DNA actually working.
Hey,
There
look
are
at
plenty of
that.
cases that could be solved with DNA, and for some reason, we don't have the funds to get these DNA tests to people to get these crimes solved.
Yeah.
Why can't we have a crime lab in the United States or across the world that's sponsored by Ancestry?
That's probably a whole other podcast with everything that's going on with um what is the other one that's not Ancestry? It's a
23andMe.
23andMe. Thank you.
Yeah, they're not doing so well.
They're not.
Newsflash.
Yeah. So DNA exonerated Shawn Bailey, and the detective looked further into this Nigel Thomas. And guess who set up these social media accounts and sent the messages in Shawn Bailey's name?
I'm going to guess Nigel Thomas for 1,000, Alex.
You just completed the daily double.
Thank you.
Nigel Thomas also goes by this fun name of Nati Bang.
That is my least favorite flavor of the Bang energy drinks is the Natty Bang. It tastes like a clown's derriere. It's gross. I don't like Natty Bang.
Well, you know what? Apparently, tastes gross and like a clown's derriere is probably what Natty Bang's going to be feeling like in jail since he's been arrested after attempting to have Shawn Bailey framed for murder.
What an
And
appropriate name for jail.
for real, for real,
Okay.
he might be a Natty Bang. I don't know, but Nigel Thomas has been arrested. They found that he created these social media profiles. We found that he sent these messages. That Chris Brown song has some lyrics in it, and I don't know exactly what they were. There's a lot to digest in this case. But he said some things very similar on his personal social media profile before jail, that is, that were kind of consistent with the lyrics in there. Something about you got me fucked up in the head are within those lyrics, and things that he would say, some things that led to that, similar to that, words hard
What?
on his social media posts.
Okay. What was Natty Bang in a relationship with Wilma Gayle Robertson, or was this just like an obsession type thing?
I think they were in a relationship for a time, and they did go to California together, and from what I understand, she went back to Ohio to, you know, take care of herself, take care of her kids. And I don't know if you've looked at this guy's Facebook profile or his YouTube, but it is wild. And he is obviously obsessed with Wilma Gayle.
I'm going to break news here as you listen to my voice. I don't listen to Chris Brown or Natty Bang.
I get that. I don't either. This was just in my research. And man, it was a rabbit hole. It's a rabbit hole. And trying to surmise this is difficult. And it is still unfolding. Um, I I haven't seen any pleas from Natty Bang at this time, or official charges or anything of the sort. I'm assuming it's going to be first degree murder because, uh, stabbing somebody in the back a couple of times can't really be labeled as self defense or anything of that sort. That's cowardice.
And there's a video. What kind of moron? What kind? I'm gonna refrain from using the term moron. Let's just change it. What kind of Natty Bang records a video after you've done something so heinous to someone that clearly didn't deserve it? That's a Natty Bang move.
It is. And he thought he was smart, thought, by framing Shawn Bailey for doing this. And obviously did not cover all the bases. Hello, DNA again. But I mean, this dude, may you rot in ever loving hell.
He won't. I mean, if his story gets out in prison, he's not going to survive it unless they keep him away from the general population, because the other inmates are going to hear that he allegedly, at this point,
Yes.
cowardice,ly killed a woman by stabbing her in the back and then filmed a video. That stuff gets around the yard.
And then tried to frame somebody else for doing it. This woman, again, happy heavenly birthday, Gail. It should not have happened. Has two small children. Two.
Ian and Jocelyn.
Yes. So now they're left without a mother. Shawn's life is basically ruined because it's going to take some time to come back from that, even though he was exonerated. He had absolutely nothing to do with this. But once it's published and once it's out there, it's hard to take back.
For me, I think, again, this is all alleged, even though there's some pretty strong evidence. I think that once Nati Bang is convicted of this crime, I think that in the prison yard there should be a good old lumberjack match, and they should give Shawn Bailey about 10 to 15 minutes with Nati Bang, with the inmates in a nice little circle / square, and what happens in the yard stays in the yard.
Yes. Yeah, I agree. I mean, God, there's a lot to unpack, and I just feel bad for everybody all around, except for Natty Bang. I mean, I know that the family has apologized to Shawn Bailey. I don't know about you and your research. Have you seen anything from the media or the police apologizing to him?
I have not, but that is also not the police MO.
Yep,
So,
true.
what the police are going to do is they're going to arrest somebody right away. They're going to find out that it's not that person. They're going to arrest another person, bring them up on charges. Not all of them, but it seems like a lot these days are going to pat themselves on the back for catching the right person, even though it took a citizen and a family member to help catch said person. And then when there is a conviction, the police are going to turn around and pat themselves on the back again, saying, hey, we got him. Well, you got one. Now go get the rest of them.
For real. So, Shawn Bailey, if you're listening, I don't know you, but I'm sorry. I'm sorry that you had to go through this. Gayle Robertson's family, I am incredibly sorry that you had to endure this.
And Ian and Jocelyn, this isn't lost on us. We've seen a lot of these cases. We've done a lot of work on these cases. We can't even pretend to know what you're going through, but just know that there are better days ahead. Not for Natty Bang, but for everyone involved. The Last Clue is a production of Smith Media Team, LLC. If you have any information about any of the cases we've covered, please feel free to email us at info@smithmediateamllc.com.